You are welcome to this channel. Don't forget to like, to share, and also to subscribe to our channel. In the news today, they will plot against you to remove you. Who said this? Ayodele reveals how Gospel Akpabio will be impeached. The Henry Evangelical Spiritual Church Primate Elijah Ayodele has warned Senate President Gospel Akpabio that legislators are plotting to bring him down through impeachment. They will plot against you to remove you. Ayodele warned the Senate President in his message. The religious leader elaborated on how factions inside the National Assembly are already unhappy with Akpabio's leadership style and may soon band together to undermine his authority. In order to weather the impending storm, Ayodele, who is notorious for his controversial predictions and strong political statements, emphasized that the Senate President must be humble and cautious. He claims that Akpabio's comrades may betray him due to his political hubris and overconfidence. This is not your average political debate, the prophet declared. If he doesn't reconcile with important senators, the Senate will rebel against him. The day will come when not even Tinubu can rescue him. Economic hardship and public anger continue to create a tense political climate in Nigeria. Ayodele warned, leaders like Akpabio become targets of insurrection when citizens are frustrated because political institutions reflect that instability. He explained. The religious leader pleaded with the Senate President to avoid a catastrophe by seeking humility, communication, and reconciliation with members of the chambers who felt wrong. If he disregards this warning, impeachment might be considered. Ayodele caution, it can be prevented, though with knowledge, modesty, and prayer. His comments are made in response to the growing number of people who are critical of the National Assembly's effort to solve the country's economic problems. Resentment against the Senate leadership has grown as many Nigerians accuse senators of ignoring the plight of the common people. As a final point, Primate Ayodele cautioned political leaders that their positions of power are temporary, serving others, not one's own pride. He emphasized his closest associate will be the one to plot his ouster if Akpabio persists without humility. Since 1999, there has always been one problem or the other rocking the Senate presidency. And I think during Obasanjo, about 3 to 4 Senate presidents were used. And if you remember the likes of Akpabio, Chuba or Kadigo was used. We also remember Impeachment was used. We also remember Evans and Wenrem was also there and the likes. Also, we also remember the likes of Ndamani, yes, also came in. Those are the ones that eventually, stopped the third term agenda then. And since that time, that particular position has always been under threat. When anybody is, placed there as the Senate President, they want to remove him. But when Senator David Mark came in, he enjoyed some form of stability for 8 solid years. He was the Senate President and he remained there. And to a large extent, well, his Adana is now the Senate President. We are still having issues. Maybe Nigeria should begin to think that any time power comes down to the south, there's always a lot of noise by the northern counterparts. For example, we could remember during the time of Yaradua when because of his demise and Jonathan came to power, the northern people began to make a lot of noise. And when he left now and Buhari was in there, whether the late Buhari was doing right or wrong, nobody made any noise. There wasn't any force. But immediately Ebola Ahmed Tinubu came in the south and then there is a lot of noise, which ought not to be. And to a large extent, we need to be very, very careful. I remember also, then when Buhari was the president, a northerner had to, in quote, now the person of Bukola Saka hijacked the Senate presidency. That is different from who they want to put in there. Well, these are some of the realities. But when Ahmed Lawan came in again at the second time of Buhari, There was no noise, there was no problem, everything was going on. And now that we have a southerner, we begin to hear all sorts of things. And here we are now, the clergyman who used to bring predictions on political issues, social issues, is coming out to say again that if Akpabio, a southerner now, is not careful, there may be some moves even to impeach him. Why? Actually, impeachment shouldn't be an issue if the person in charge is not doing right. But if he's doing the right thing, why? That's number two. Why is it that it is always when a southerner is in power that we begin to see the issue of impeachment and impeachment? So oftentimes, Nigerians, we always love to play the regional card or sometimes the ethnic card, sometimes it's religious card. We just want to, distort a peaceful process, a due process because of personal, I mean, how do I put it now? Personal vision, personal interest, and that ought not to be. Why should Akpabio be impeached? Well, on a normal ground, if it is on a legal ground or merit, if the man has not been doing well, it should be removed. But if it is based on all those our sentiment, I think it ought not to be. And yes, as the clergyman has given him an expo now, at like in our local palace now, he should be able to understand what he needs to do rightly. The man has called on him to allow humility. He should give room for communication and also reconciliation where need be, so that some of his so-called close associates who have bedeviled with personal interest, if they may even be southerners too, will not work with the northern elements even to remove it. Very, very important. We believe in the stability of the Senate now, and Nigerians, to a large extent, might not really like all what they are doing 100%, but to a large extent, this Senate did not to become, a rival to the executive this time around. And also, we wouldn't want to also ratify the fact that everything the executive bring, they just ratify it. No, they should be able to call them to order and question. They shouldn't allow the president to become a lord or a field marshal that is what, and they should not turn themselves to a second fiddle or an appendage of the executive hand of government. No, it ought not to be. Their job is oversight, and they should be able to perform that role very well, and also to begin to caution even the executive and to reduce the excesses of the executive arm of government. But to some extent, we realize that they are the ones that are even having underhand in all things they are trying to do, while even the executive is trying to caution and curtail and reduce, some expenses and some excesses. The senators and the legislators are trying to have a field day. But to a large extent, I think there is a balance. And I think the Senate president really, really need to look inward and reshuffle his cabinet if need be, and then do the right thing and make sure that the interest of everyone, Nigerians as a whole now, is put beyond, in front of his own personal ambition or the ambition of any senator. Very, very important. Wish him the best. If he's doing well, he should remain there. But if he's not doing well, of course, Providence will take his course and he will be removed. Keep liking our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you share. Thank you.